Oh, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. So many dreams, yeah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to another Ramadan special episode of our podcast where we are, inshallah, taking different ayahs from the Quran every day in Ramadan and seeing how we can use them to apply their lessons in our everyday lives, inshallah. If you're new here, my name is Aisha Abdul Hadi and I help Muslims succeed without overwhelm. And as usual, we are going to begin by, first of all, listening to the ayah of the Quran that we are going to be focusing on today, inshallah. And then we are going to take some lessons away from it. So this time we are in Surah Al An'am, inshallah, and we are on ayah 162. So for those of you who are following along, you might want to get your Qurans and find the correct ayah, inshallah. And if you're watching, I will also play the ayah. Let's listen to the ayah first, inshallah.
قل إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين.
So again, this is an ayah you might have heard before, inshallah, is one that is referenced quite a lot. So this ayah interpretation of the meaning translates as, say, surely my prayer, my sacrifice, my life and my death are all for Allah, Lord of the worlds. So let's go and have a little think about now what we can take away from this ayah, inshallah. First of all, we talk about Islam as being a complete way of life. Okay, Islam is not just a set of rituals or beliefs that are even confined to the masjid, for example. It's a comprehensive way of life when we think about Islam. And every aspect of our existence as Muslims, from our ibadah, our worship, to even our daily routines and our interactions, can be an act of ibadah, of devotion, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when we do them for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the correct intention. And this ayah from Surah Al An'am is a powerful reminder that our entire being should be aligned with seeking Allah's pleasure. Whether that's in private or public, our ultimate purpose is to serve and worship Him. So let's have a think about the concept of sincerity in worship. In this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teaches us the essence of sincerity or ikhlas in everything we do. Our prayers, sacrifices, and even the more mundane and what we might think of as boring aspects of our life become meaningful when we think that we are doing them solely for His sake. So, this ayah emphasizes that a believer's life isn't just fragmented into religious and worldly activities, but actually everything's interconnected through the intention that I'm doing this to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, true sincerity means that our motivations are free from seeking praise or recognition or personal gain. But actually, when you do each and everything in your everyday life, you think and you really know and believe in your heart that your why, your reasoning behind it, that it's just for the one who created us. So, in terms of some key lessons, aligning our actions with Allah's pleasure. Firstly, intentions shape our deeds. The sincerity behind our action determines their value in the sight of Allah. Even everyday routines, like when you're cooking for your children or you're working to earn or parenting in the best way possible, can become acts of worship if you have the right intention behind them. Secondly, a holistic approach to worship. So view all areas of your life as opportunities to draw closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whether it's your family responsibilities, your community service that you might be doing, your personal goals, everything can be for His sake. Thirdly, renew your intentions regularly. This keeps you grounded and focused. Sometimes you can get lost in the business of your everyday life, and especially when you've been off something for a long time or you haven't really thought about it and you're just getting into the habit of doing it without thinking why you're doing it. Go back and revisit and think about your niyyah and your intention. Actually, why am I doing this thing? And instead of getting into that trap of seeking validation from other people, you can then remind yourself that actually I'm going to direct my heart towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, inshallah. So, how are some practical ways in which we can do these things? Firstly, think about your morning routine. And if you missed my last podcast series, we went through this in quite a lot of detail. So you can have a listen to it up on the YouTube channel, inshallah. But think about your morning routine. Begin your day by intending to seek Allah's pleasure with your morning dua. Think about the actions you're going to be doing, whether that's preparing meals, managing your household. Think about why I'm doing this and have the right frame of mind from the get go. So, from the moment you wake up, remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with your dua first and foremost. And then think about the rest of the things you're going to be doing. And then, inshallah, why you're doing them. When you're doing your work and any community work or services that you might be offering, frame them as an opportunity to fulfill your duties as a Muslim. Think about the fact that change your mindset to think that I'm contributing to the greater good. I'm doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm doing it for halal income for my family and all these kind of things as well, inshallah. When it comes to your family life and caring for your family, consciously intend to follow the example of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in kindness, patience, and service. So, simple acts like spending quality time or teaching your children about Islam can be deeply rewarding. And I always say this, it doesn't have to even be done in a formal way. It can be done in a fun way. It can be done through modeling, maybe before you're eating, you are reminding your children the dua, the meaning behind the dua. Why, as Muslims, we read dua. Even just things about food, like how they're a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Spend a few moments to think about the people who aren't fortunate as yourselves to have food to eat. You can even do it in a way like that, inshallah. But think of this as, you're doing it to really teach your children as a learning opportunity, and that you want that reward then from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah. So I want you to have a little think about how you can align your daily activities with the intention of pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah. And this Ramadan, let us all strive to make every action, whether that's a big one or small one, as an act of devotion to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that we can really focus on our worship and ibadah in a more meaningful way, inshallah. I hope this mini lesson has been useful for you. Don't forget, if you've missed any of the other episodes of our Ramadan specials, then you can catch up with them, inshallah, on any podcast player or on the YouTube channel. But until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.